you want to hear some music? You'd like that, wouldn't you? Well, today you're going to get all the music you want.
The request lines are now open. KGFJ Soul Radio.
Do it now, man. Do it now.
Request lines are up.
It's open, man.
Got any Blue Oyster Cult?
No, I don't have any Blue Oyster Cult. I ate 34 pairs last time around. Where were you? I was that close to working at 7-Eleven, you know.
Pass the word along. Tell the men it's time to shoot the moon.
Shoot the moon!
Out there on the microphone. On the microphone.
Shoot the moon. Shoot the moon.
The attitude dictates that you don't care whether she comes, stays, lays, or prays. I mean, whatever happens, your toes are still tapping.
Hey, Strawberry! Oh, Strawberry. Hey, what's happening, man? How you doing? This is my friend.
Hey, how you doing, man?
What you looking at, man?
Oh, nothing. I wasn't looking. I wasn't looking at his neck, man.
Can you honestly tell me that you forgot the magnetism of Robin Zander or the charisma of Rick Nielsen?
That's kid stuff.
Kid stuff. Well, how about the tunes? I want you to want me. The Dream Police. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Build your muscles picking strawberries. You know, bend and scoop. Maybe I could get you a job with United Fruit. I got a buddy with United Fruit. Start with strawberries, you might work your way up to these goddamn bananas. When, boy, are you gonna get your act together?
We're creating a society of cell phone crazed, marijuana smoking zombies.
Coming to you not quite live from Lukewarm Tallboy Studios deep in the land of Gar, this is Bend and Scoop, the podcast featuring music, mirth, and minutia, focused on exposing artists you probably haven't heard, but should. I'm Bob, and I'll be your tour guide on this amazingly asymmetric auditory adventure as we journey to the center of your cochlea. Welcome to episode 29, which is also the number of listeners this episode will probably have. Joining us at the end of the show for our Groovin' After Party will be our very special guest, Gilbert Neal, from D-Sides, Orphans, and Oddities, sharing his own personal musical journey with a round of Is That Your Vinyl Answer? We spread the gospel of vinyl here at Bend and Scoop, so be sure to tell us all about your favorite neighborhood record store by posting to @BendScoop on Twitter or Instagram using the hashtag SpinMomAndPop. Our record store of the week is Chief Records in Fort Worth. You can follow them on both Twitter and Instagram at Chief_Records, on Facebook at Chief Records Online, and you can check out their website at chiefrecordsonline.com. Kicking things off is London's Chubby and the Gang, with this banger from their new album Speed Kills called The Rise and Fall of the Gang on Bend and Scoop.
you on KFRC.
From Hamilton, Ontario, the home of practically half the cast of SCTV, that was the appropriately named TV Freaks off their latest album, People, with Saturday Night. The latest episode of the podcast I co-host with my pal David Miller, Plausible Deniability, is a discussion about the ongoing effort to save Texas's legendary honky tonks and dance halls, and how you can help that worthy cause. You can follow Plausible Deniability on both Twitter and Instagram at PauseDeny. Another great band from Canada is Like a Motorcycle from Halifax, Nova Scotia, with this powerhouse track off their newest record, Dead Broke. Love this title, Satan Does the Numbers, on Bend and Scoop.
You want the key?
Hey, please, Doc, get me out of here. Let me be free. I just want the key, okay?
You're sure you want to be free?
Yeah, I want to be free. Just give me the key, okay, please?
Stick out your tongue. What? Stick out your tongue. There's the key.
This is not the key. I want the key.
That's the key to the universe. You're feeling free already.
Hey, man. Hey, I got the key, man.
Hey, man.
All right, what's up? My name is Jimmy. I'm gonna do one song before I get back into my box. Yeah. Purple haze all in my brain. What's this Negro doing on the stage? I'm acting funny, but I don't know why. Excuse me while I kiss this fly.
was our third straight Canadian jam, Cigarette by Vancouver's Babe Corner from their brand new EP called Killer. Another podcast I'm part of is called Campfire Songs, where I get together with my buddies Tom, Jim, and Todd to share and discuss a couple of songs each. Follow us on Twitter at Songs Campfire and give us a listen. Speaking of songs, remember to be sure and check out our Bend and Scoop Spotify playlist. If we played it and they have it, you can listen to it there. Up next is this fresh tune from the High Watermarks off their latest album, Ecstasy Rhymes. Here's Award Show on Bend and Scoop.
WNBY Weekend.
Love and hate You can search the stars at night. You won't learn anything. You thought you heard the sound of wind in the trees. It's a noise in your head. There's no relief. Love and hate are the same mistake. Love and hate are the same mistake. Love and hate are the same mistake. If you hang on too tight when you pass through a dream, you won't have anything. I wrote my name in the dirt while you were clean. I saw the west side of town laid in the streets. You don't know how it's been. You don't know how it's been. Love and hate are the same mistake. Love and hate are the same mistake. Love and hate on the worst side of town. Love and hate are the same mistake.
Love and hate are the same mistake. Possibly one of the greatest opening lyrics I've ever heard. That was Worst Side of Town by the Reds, Pinks, and Purples from their new record, You Might Be Happy Someday. Have you ever wanted to host a podcast? Well, what are you waiting for? Come on and join the Mike Hunt. All you have to do to host an episode of Assume the Juxtaposition is send your topic idea to lukewarmtallboy@gmail.com. You can follow Assume the Juxtaposition on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at AssumeTJPod. Don't forget, if you enjoy listening to what we do here on Bend and Scoop, please take a moment to subscribe, rate, and review us wherever you get your podcasts. So much great new stuff on this episode, including this awesome track from Ben Queller's upcoming album, Circuit Boredom, called American Cigarettes, here on Bend and Scoop.
American cigarettes, silver can regrets. I bought you this little dress, unimpressed. You put my love to the test, and I know loving me's a slippery slope, but I know loving you's my only hope. So hold on tight if you can, hold on tight if you can, hold on tight if you can, baby, I know that you can. Flower vase in the hall, how your face says it all. It's a race, it's a crawl, baby doll. We better brace for the fall. And
Do I know you? Huh?
Hope not.
Do you know me?
No,
Do I know you?
No, I don't know you.
That's why I carry American Express. Isn't that funny? No, but serious. You look very familiar to me.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, no, you don't worry. When I remember, I will remember.
Yeah, hey, great.
All right.
Always a beast remember me.
You're so wonderful.
I must have been drunk.
I was a flower child too, you know.
Yeah?
Sitting on the grassy knolls, listening to your music permeate the air. You're brilliant.
Hey.
Oh my God, I have every album you ever made.
Hey.
How they used to scream for you and die for you. And you're holding up beautifully. You are holding up so well. Oh my God. Girls, meet Jerry Garcia. I'm the Grateful Dead.
No, I'm not Jerry.
I'm Santana, man.
You have a beautiful tan, man. Beautiful.
No.
Here's my cord.
Give her a call, man.
Here it is.
Call her up late at night.
I want you to know that you're a blessed person. Have a good time. Enjoy.
She did it again, man. Fucking stole my plate that time, man.
Gargoyle, more food.
Mr. Child says roll with the punches and remain as a child. Mr. Child sees no rainbow, sees no rain. Mr. Child says roll with the punches and remain as a child. Every child says, Mr. Child, what you know. Mr. Child says, pay attention as you go. Mr. Child is racing horses. Mr. Child is vaulting high. Mr. Child is joining forces, parachuting from a clear blue sky. Mr. Child knows his role to roll with the punches and remain as a child.
Off their just-released third album of 2020, Styles We Paid For, that's the phenomenal Guided by Voices with Mr. Child. The very first podcast I was ever part of is still going strong today, called How Many, where my buddies Jesse, Junior, Gary, and Scott discuss and debate a variety of pop culture topics, including movies, sports, TV, music, and more. You can follow How Many on Twitter at HowManyPodcast and listen at HowManyPodcast.com. Don't forget to stick around for the end of the show when we'll be be joined in the groovin' after party by our special guest Gilbert Neal from D-Sides, Orphans, and Oddities. Speaking of prolific bands, this is Melbourne, Australia's Pop Filter with one from their second release of 2020, Donkey Gully Road. Here's Waiting to Be Now on Bend and Scoop.
Unpleasant tensing like a punch.
St. Pauli Girl Concert Series. Friday, April 11th at Meadowlands Arena. John Schur and WNEW-FM welcome the Kiss Spectacle. Together with Blue Oyster Cult. Tickets now at Meadowlands, Capitol Theater, and Ticketmaster Outlet. Friday, April 11th at Meadowlands. Together live, Kiss and Blue Oyster Cult.
out all that light. And in the middle of the night, I didn't care if it was right. And I was sitting in the parking lot with you. Come find me whenever you want. You know you don't have to ask. When the summer gives up its secrets, I'll be lying in the grass. Didn't tell me you were gone. I just assumed I'd understand it later on. And I kept waiting in the parking lot for you. Come find me whenever you want. You know you don't have to ask. When the summer gives up its secrets, I'll be lying in the grass.
That's the only song we've played this episode which isn't a new release. Off their 2006 album, Sound on Sound, that's Parking Lot Blues by Ann Arbor, Michigan's Saturday Looks Good to Me. Oh, I guess it looks good to most people in Ann Arbor not named Jim Harbaugh, because Michigan Wolverines football is in a bad way these days. Since next Friday will be Christmas, we've got a very special episode under the tree, gift wrapped for your holiday enjoyment. It's a lot better than getting a lump of coal in your stocking. I hope after listening to this episode, your night will end with some nice dreams.
Columbia Pictures presents Cheech and Chong, together again in Nice Dreams, the story of two enterprising young men who make an amazing amount of money selling ice cream.
We got $17 million, man. No.
And who are into neighborly visits.
Oh, animal. Oh, when did you get out?
Come on, open up, or I'll break the door down!
Fine dining.
Oh, lobster. How about squid?
And anything else they can get their hands on.
Doctor?
Yeah.
I have this terrible problem. Oh, you're probably much too busy, man, to listen to my problem.
Oh, no, I'd love to look at your problems.
Cheech and Chong's Nice Dreams.
Rated R. Don't miss this special movie preview next Saturday, May 30th.
Hi there, everybody. We're the Water Lovers. We're going to sing about the Ice Cream Man for you. Well, now, Ice Cream Man, upon my street. I heard your truck outside is really neat. Ice Cream Man, upon my block. Your little chimes, they reel and they rock. Ice Cream Man, ring your bell. Play the music I've learned to love so well. Ice Cream Man, ring your chimes in the afternoon so fine. Ice Cream Man, upon my street. I heard your truck today, and he, Ice Cream Man, upon my block now. Your chimes, they reel and rock. Now Ice Cream Man, upon my street. Your little truck, you know, is neat, and Ice Cream Man, your charms. I know they reel and they run. Ice cream man, on my street. Your little truck, you know, it's an eating ice cream man. Upon my block, your chimes, they reel and run. Ice cream man, upon my street. You heard your truck today. Ice cream man, ring your chime in the afternoon. So fine. One more time. Ice cream man, ring your bell. Play the music I've learned to love. Ice cream man, ring your chime in the afternoon. So fine.
People listen to people. So listen, people.
Welcome to the Groovin' After Party. Come on in and pour yourself a cold one.
Joining me now for our Groovin' After Party here on Bend and Scoop is Gilbert Neal from D-Sides, Orphans, and Oddities. Welcome, Gilbert.
Hi, thank you so much for talking to me.
You bet. Thanks for being with us. Tell us about D-Sides, Orphans, and Oddities. It's an interesting podcast.
Thanks. This is a show that I had been planning for a long, long time, but I never knew that I would have a forum for it. What it is obscure or rare or rarely heard music from 1965, which is when other artists started to really sincerely ape the Beatles, to 1980, when the drum machine started taking over entire bands and stuff, and the synthesizer started becoming more and more a way to write as opposed to just an augmentation. So what I do is I cobble together vinyl and assorted sources and things like that, and I do 2 hours a show. Sometimes I'll dictate the show, sometimes I'll have a guest on. Mostly it's just me blabbering.
How long have you been doing the show?
It's going to be 5 years in October.
Oh, congratulations. It's
Thank
a nice milestone there.
Mhm.
Awesome. Now, how long does the show usually last? Is it an hour or 2 hours? What's your usual length of the show?
2 hours.
So, Gilbert, let's learn a little bit more about your personal musical journey by playing a round of something we call Is That Your Vinyl Answer?
Okay.
What was the very first record you remember ever buying for yourself?
Mockingbird by James Taylor and Carly Simon.
Okay, that's a good one. I definitely remember the song. Now, did you buy the album or was it a 45?
It was a 45. The first album I actually bought was Tony Orlando and Dawn's Ragtime Follies.
Well, clearly we're about the same age. The time frame you mentioned about the podcast, 65 to 80, I was born in 66. So that's like, 14 of the first 15 years of my life. And my musical cognizance, I think, probably started right around the beginning of the 70s.
Yeah, me too, yeah.
Where was it that you bought the James Taylor and or the Tony Orlando record?
It was at a place called Cabbages in Buffalo, New York at the Seneca Mall.
Do you still have either that 45 or that record, that album?
No. When I was subletting apartments in Buffalo when I was in college, I had to give away everything to get people to help me move. Do you know who Freddie Cannon is?
Yeah, I've heard the name. Yeah, for sure.
So he had a hit with Palisades Park.
Which was written by Chuck Barris, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, that is exactly right. Now, this is what I'm going to talk to you about. So Freddie Cannon did a disco song in 1976 called Sugar. And you can't get it on an album or a greatest hits or compilation, but I found it and I had it shipped and I played it on one of my shows, and it's very, very seedy. Listening to Freddie Cannon, who sang Palisades Park and all that stuff, he's talking about a girl with sugar and a boy who'd like to taste her sugar and all that stuff. So yes, you're right. Chuck Barris wrote that. And Chuck Barris also had some singles out in the late 60s.
Really? That he actually sang?
Yes.
Oh, I did not know that.
He did something called the Chuck Barris Syndicate, but what I wanted, what I eventually got, was Chuck Barris releasing a couple of singles of a leftist nature, complaining about society and things like this and that. And I just love having that because it's just fills you with a feeling of like sort of discomfort. The song is called Too Rich, and it was from 1969, and it's just crazy. Chuck Barris was, I don't know what he was intending to do, but on the one show I did Chuck Barris and Freddie Cannon, and it's just so uncomfortable to hear.
I'm kind of with you on not all of the vinyl I have is something that is unavailable on CD or out of print, but I do tend to skew more toward trying to find those that really are not available, like maybe not available on Spotify. It's something that you just can't get anywhere else. Which band or artist's albums would you say you own the most of?
XTC.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, I don't play them on my show, though, because they are too modern.
Do you have a favorite of theirs?
I have a warm spot in my heart for The Big Express, because I like the song This World Over so much.
Yeah.
I think it's just a wonderful song, and I think Andy Parker is a genius.
Which album you've had to replace the most?
Good question. I owned 4 copies of The United States of America. Do you know what that is?
Was that a band, or was that...
Yes. United States of America was a band formed in 1968 by a guy named Joseph Byrd, and what it was a psychedelic group with no guitars. It was a violinist, Joe Byrd, on keyboards, a bass player with like distorted bass, and a drummer. And
so very experimental.
Oh, very. They were anarchists. I owned their album and like 3 CDs. One of them came on Sundays, and they were like with bonus tracks and stuff. And my little bit of trivia about United States of America is that Dorothy Moskowitz, who sang with them, also sang with Country Joe McDonald on his Paris Sessions album. And
so she was kind of an honorary member of the Fish.
Yes, she was. Although he was not calling them that. But if you look on YouTube, you can find some video of Country Joe McDonald's tour behind the Paris Sessions, and Dorothy Moskowitz is there.
Who among your friends and family, and this could include yourself as well, has the largest collection of vinyl?
My friend and sort of a partner on my show, even though he lives the life of a hermit up in Plattsburgh, New York, but Dan Lewis, he owns copious amounts of vinyl. I mean, all the Zappa, all the Beatles.
Zappa bootlegs and everything?
Yeah, some. But I have to say, the fun story about Dan is that one day he invited me over to listen to his copy of We're Only in It for the Money. And I said to him, I heard a copy where the swearing is actually intact. He doesn't like reverse it. Like when he's singing, we are the mother people, we are the mother people, shut your about the length of my hair. And on his copy, it was backwards to like censor it. Mm-hmm. But on the copy I had, you could hear the swearing. And I never saw anybody so depressed. He was like, oh my God, I ordered this import from a mail order catalog. And
he didn't realize it wasn't intended to be that way.
I was a killjoy. But,
what would you ballpark the size of his collection at?
At its peak, I would say a couple thousand.
Wow, that's pretty good. And how much, what size is your collection?
At its peak, it was about 500, but then I had to give it away. So now my collection is mostly, Sha Na Na, right?
Oh, sure, absolutely. Bowser, the whole gang, yeah.
Right. So Sha Na Na released 3 solo albums from different members in the 70s.
They almost did like Kiss.
They were around the same time, except for Screamin' Scott Simon, who co-wrote the song Sandy for the musical Grease. He did one in 1980 that sounded a lot like Jerry Lee Lewis would have done. Denny Green, who was the African-American singer up there, he was at Woodstock. He released one which is just awful. It's just terrible. But the best one is by Jay Jocko. He did one with Elliot Randall, who was the guitar player who played on the Steely Dan song. He released a solo album, but he's most famous for da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Oh, Reeling in the Ears, yeah.
Yeah, so he's most famous for that. But he produced this Jay Jocko record, which is pretty good. It's like Little Feat meets Tony Orlando.
Interesting.
Most of my vinyl collection is that or musicals and stuff like that.
But you're still actively expanding?
Yeah,
Definitely.
I have a few things coming in.
Do you purchase all of your vinyl online, or do you have a record store there locally that you go to that's your favorite?
There's a record store locally, but I don't go there. I buy it on Discogs because I'm pretty impulsive. So if I research something, there's the chances of it being in my record store is just none. So I like to order online and do that. Like I have an album by a band called Citizen. So Citizen did one video for MTV back in 1981, I think. Not even for MTV. They released one album, but the guy who was behind Citizen was doing like sort of disco thing before then. Like Casey and the Sunshine Band, but like a poor man's Casey and the Sunshine Band. And the thing about Citizen is that they only released one album, and in their video and on the cover, they wear shoulder pads, like a football player, under their shirt.
Okay.
So they all look the same. And I think that this is some sort of fascist protest or something. I don't know.
Yeah, almost like there was an element of performance art
exactly
associated with it. Yeah. So in all the time growing up, your entire history, is there any particular record store you recall fondly that maybe was your favorite at one point when you did purchase from there?
Yeah, I just loved Cabbages. There was a Cabbages in the Seneca Mall and a Como Mall. And when they went away, it was very sad.
Definitely. But hopefully we'll start seeing more and more of these mom and pop operations.
Yeah, even just cutouts have value, extraordinary value.
Before we wrap up, how can folks follow your podcast on social media? What's the best way to track D-Sides, Orphans, and Oddities?
Well, D-Sides, Orphans, and Oddities is on the air Saturday nights at 6 o'clock on WHUPFM.org, anywhere. Or you can go to my Podbean account, which is dsides.podbean.com. And there you can see all the pictures of the album shots and stuff. I'm also on Amazon and Apple Podcasts, stuff like that. I'm all over the place.
Okay.
So just look up D-Sides, Orphans, and Oddities, and you'll find me.
Okay. And do you have a Twitter that we can follow as well?
It's Mr. Gilbert Neal.
Okay, and that's Neal, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And all my shows are perpetuated on that too.
Well, Gilbert, this was fun. I really enjoyed talking with you.
Thank you so much.
Best of luck to you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Bye-bye, lard ass.
Bend and Scoop is a production of Lukewarm Tallboy Studios.